I really wanted to talk to you about a situation. And I see it's been a pandemic. And I see the biggest reason for hormone imbalances, the biggest reason why our brain is getting literally hijacked, why we have the fatigue, anxiety, why we can't accomplish anything. So basically, we're walking around like zombies and we thinking, okay, let me take this herb and that herb, try this supplement and these supplements for my hormones, for my energy, but I still feel like walking freaking zombie. And the pandemic of it is enormous and it's crazy. And before I was really nice talking to people, but now I literally want to open your eyes into the problem. And I want to ask you this question: do you want to continue living like this, waking up with no energy, feeling fatigue, feeling like, oh, remember these years when I was 10, 20 years old and I used to jump from the bed and I used to have my goals, I used to have desire for life, I used to have potency, I used to want sex, I used to want something else in life. And it feels like right now, the only thing I want to do is to lay down in my bed and eat something or drink something, alcohol, I don't know, soda, maybe even like coffee, maybe it's even fancy matcha, but you still feel like you constantly need some type of fuel, some type of magic potion to freaking just wake up and have that push and have that potency and have that um, some kind of like ability to even function or forget about the goals. And then of course you feel like your brain is just in a cell, in a prison cell. You forget the people's names, numbers, you forget where you put your keys. You just like wake up in the morning, you have to like blow your nose, you like constantly have this bitter taste in your mouth, your tongue is swollen and white, you have vaginal discharge, you have erectile dysfunction, you have all of these problems where you like, sex, what are we even talking about? Like, yes, I want it in theory, I really want it in theory, but on the physical level something is not working right. Then it's of course low progesterone for women, these crazy periods when you don't when you have either like a PMS, crazy anxiety, you have headaches, you have these cravings, you literally understand with your mind, I should live different life, I should be able to do this, enjoy that, like enjoy my family, enjoy my life. But I really feel like a walking zombie. All of these things like not working in my body. Maybe you even have this bloating. You have the look like you're 6 months pregnant by the end of the day. A lot. This is a lot. And if you are tired, if you have any of these symptoms, if you don't just wake up feeling like abundant, fun, inspired, motivated, energetic human being, it's time. It's time to think that we're doing something wrong, right? And I'm going to tell you one of the biggest reasons what hijacked your body, what preventing you from living your life and being that person. And number one, I want to ask you this question: are you ready for a change? And even you watching me on Instagram, like it's going to be YouTube, or you're watching me on Facebook group, if you want some type of changes happen in your life, in your brain, you have to participate. So when I ask you a question, if you want just like to plug in the field that's going to change your energy, your life, your your body, click the like, write a comment, say that yes, something, say yes, say hello. That way you get into the field, we have this energy together and we can change something. So basically you like, I'm gonna be your battery and you're gonna get some energy for something new to come in your life. I agree to be that battery. So put something in the chat, like do something to reply to me. That way we connect, energetically connect. So I want to tell you about the experiment. Two experiments Russians did. Like there is a lid medical Russian community. They don't care about the whole country. There is Moscow and there is the rest of the country. But in Moscow, for longest time, for 100 years for now, in Kremlin, those Kremlin gremlins, they wanted to live really long life and they wanted to rule for a very long time. And they invested a lot of money, a lot of energy and resources into creating medications, research, studying ancient herbs, Russian herbs, chemicals, inventing new chemicals into longevity, into feeling and looking young for a long time, live a very long time, and suppress poor Russian people for as long as they can and manipulate them and half of the world. They are pretty ambitious in there, and they have the whole medical team that only cares about them. So with my connections and resources, I was able to tap into a lot of their research, and I'm pretty sure here in US there is the same thing is done for elite members, for elites. And I made it kind of half of my mission. One of my half of my mission is to open people's eyes into how limitless our body is, how in 3 to 6 months you can completely change hormones, genes, microbiome, your brain, how you function, how your face look like, how your body look like. You can change your body type. So this is half of my mission. I want to show women, men, how limitless our bodies are. The second half is to find the people connection research and tap into the industry that is not available, and research that is not available for us regular people, and it's only available for elites. That medical research about longevity, about erasing chronic illnesses, about the genetic manipulation, about how to live until 200 years, 120, 200 years into sexy 30 years old bodies, because this is their agenda. And let's be honest, why can't we have this agenda? Why do we have to be slaves that running from chronic illness? Why do we have to be walking robots who just like surviving? Here is my symptom. I can't live with this symptom no more. So I need some medication. I need some supplements. Help me, save me. No. Why don't we think about, we want to be young very long time. We want to be potent. We want to be sexually active. We want to have energy. We want our body belong to us. We don't agree with this life. Why don't we decide we want to be elites, we want to be royal, and we want the best for our lives and our bodies? So this is half of my mission, and for this is my mission to provide it for my clients and even anybody who come into my field and who open to this. Like, I'm done being this bio robot. I'm done them telling me, feeding me all of this mass production bullshit, creating story after story, creating complicated diets, creating the things that feels like symptom medication, symptom supplement, that take me even further from the truth of what our body's abilities are. And we get so confused with all of this ability of information, and we frustrated, we get disabled, and we're not doing anything. So, okay, let me stop and get back to the real conversation, what I was starting with. Oh, to research. So from this medical community, elite medical community, not mainstream, they did the research. The first research, and they did many of them, but two I want to talk to you about. First one is they did, the every life subject, object, creature have biofield. And it's absolutely, you look at the Heart Math Institute, it's not nothing woo-woo, it's not energy. This is everybody, we have biofield. This is our live cells emitting certain frequencies. We have electricity in our body. We have magnetism in our body. Earth have human resonance, have the magnetism. So all of the life structures have the biofield. So they took a bunch of very sick people and they start measuring their biofield. And what they find out, that these sick people had second biofield in their bodies that didn't belong to them. And they start digging into this and they find out that this biofield belongs to parasites. And parasites, you're probably going to imagine like a big bunch of worms in the human body, and you're like, well, I don't have parasites. Yes, you do. Maybe it's not a bunch of worms, but let me tell you more about parasites and what I mean by parasites. There's many species, and in the parasites, I mean any any creatures who live in us that eating our food or our blood, living in our organs, any alive cells. The parasite can be one cell body. It just can be a cell that can create more havoc and more problems in the body than like 3 or 4 worms, like tapeworms or pinworms. Those cells, they're like little amoebas. They live in your blood, in your lymph, in your brain, in your organs. They can be, of course, things like those worms, like hookworms, lentil worms, like whatever. They can be liver flukes that live in your body. They can be giardia. They can so many of them. Also, yeast is a parasite because when yeast overgrows in your body and they tell you, well, everybody has candida. Well, everybody has very little candida if you're a healthy human. And there are 200 other species of yeast that is not candida. And these yeast, parasites, the fungus, the bacteria, there is a good bacteria and bad bacteria. Even good bacteria, when it overgrows and when it starts thinking they are the bosses of your body, they start migrating to the places they do not belong. They start eating your food. Even good bacteria, they feel like they are freaking hijacking your body and they are the bosses now. And they can create liposaccharides, they can create toxins that poison your body, absolutely destroying it. That's the bloating, that's the looking 6 months of pregnant. This is being fatigued. These toxins, these gases, they reach the brain, they deactivate your muscle system. So your gut is not working. You're not protected from more of those coming. They invite more creatures into your body. They hijack your brain because all of these toxins through blood and lymph get spilled in your brain, get spilled in your thyroid, poisoning it. Here you go, your thyroid issues, ladies. It's spilled in your ovaries, and they can't function. Here you go, your problems. Get spilled in your liver. Here you go, your estrogen problem. Here you go, your progesterone problem. Get spilled in your pancreas, insulin resistance. And all of these species, different species, right? There's so many of them. They live all over your body, everywhere. That yeast, it accumulates in your ears, in your nose, in your I want to get a little bit uncomfortable, because how good do you feel understanding that there is a lot of this garbage in your body, and it's alive, and it has its own biofield. Also, they connect to each other through biofilm. It's like gel-like substance, and it's very like they can move, they communicate with each other. Those bacteria, parasitic bacteria from your gut, can talk to their friends in your brain and dictate and kill the neurotransmitters, change the neurotransmitters in your brain, those feel good hormones, right? Neurotransmitters are just like hormones, just for your brain, for your nerves. Deplete you of dopamine, serotonin, melatonin. They steal your hormones because they want to manipulate you. They want you to eat and sleep and eat and sleep and eat what they want you to eat. And you like walking zombie. They want you to be a suit for them, literally. And they can deactivate and activate your genes. And then what you were thinking, like, oh, it just runs in my family, this is genetic. No, this is the microbiome, shitty microbiome that unfortunately you got from your mom, and it goes through generation to generation. And that parasitic bacteria, parasites, yeast, they have their own biofield. So this is the energy, this is the way of thinking that runs in your family. For example, if like in your family you nobody can build a good business, nobody can work, you're like very addicted, like it runs in your family that people are addicted to alcohol. Why? Because these creatures, the biofilm is changed, they dictate the neurotransmitters, and when you're lacking of dopamine, serotonin, melatonin, when you're lacking of good neurotransmitters, you're gonna look pleasures in the things like food, alcohol, cigarettes, addicted. You're lacking all of these I feel good emotions because it's very it's very chemical in your body. It's very physical in your body, and they dictate it, and they talk to each other, and all of this slime, and they protect each other with this biofilm. That's why antibiotics cannot penetrate colonies. They create colonies when they protect themselves from uh, from you destroying them. What was I talking about? I want to tell you something juicy about the creatures. I have a war. I literally have a war against them, and I told them I'm at war with mine and with my clients ones. And it's amazing the pictures that my clients send me when the things start coming out of them. You won't believe them. It's like aliens living inside, because that biofilm, that mucoidal plug that they build, these colonies that plug in your small intestine, it's like tart, it's like so slimy and thick, and there is like parasites, there is like a lot of blobs of yeast in there. Of course, there's parasites sitting in your bile ducts, preventing bile from flowing. And when you don't have bile, forget about healthy hormones. And you taking these little tinctures, and you're taking these they herbs, and they take place. Tinctures and herbs for hormones can, like, I love ancient herbs. I use them in my practice, but we use them after we cleanse your body. We remove all of these garbage, because then you can absorb them. Then you not heartbroken, because you do this herb, you tincture, and it works after a couple of months. But the thing is, you have to decide, are you a walking zombie, or are you a human being and you want to reclaim your body? Your body should be yours, not theirs. And I'm telling you, a lot of people go to a doctor, and they even do the gut test. Not a lot of good gut tests out there, first of all. They don't even scratch the surface of what's going on in the body because of the biofilm. Just imagine, antibiotics can't penetrate the biofilm. Imagine, like, what's the gut test gonna see? They are very smart creatures. So when we do this, they do the gut test. If it's not good one, it's not gonna show you anything. It's gonna show you like regular bacteria overgrowth a little bit, maybe one parasite, maybe, but usually not. I work with the best labs in US. We do all kind of tests, neurotransmitters, blood, parasites, HTMA, like. And what I like to see, I don't look for these offending creatures. I look at the combination of a blood test, HTMA, mineral balance, what's going on with your body mineral. It can tell me a lot about parasites. Because you're anemic, guess what? Parasites love iron. They feed off of your iron. They love it. So many times we do the parasitic cleanse, very good one, and your anemia goes away. What happened with mine? The thing is, these tests, even I use GIMAP, the best test on the market right now for testing your microbiome, what's going on in your digestion. Even that one shows probably like 60%, maybe even 50 of what's going on in your gut and your digestive system. And yeast, oh, those guys can be everywhere. So when we look at the blood drop under microscope of very sick people, we find all kind of eggs, parasitic eggs, little amoeba-like parasites. We find lots of toxins. We find a lot of inflammatory markers, and there is like your undigested protein. There are parasites that live, the bacteria, H. pylori, that live in your stomach, prevent you from absorbing your proteins. So you go on this fat paleo diet, and you can't even digest and absorb it, and this meat sitting there rotten in your body, feeding all of these guys, and they create crazy toxins, and we can see it in your blood. It's amazing what is in our blood, guys. It's absolutely fascinating. And when it's in your blood, that means your liver is like, I mean, liver also, but that means your lymph is absolutely hijacked too, and it's thick, and it's toxic, and it's not moving. And you know what is important for your immune system to fight the viruses, to keep you young, long, and to keep you healthy? It's your immune system, and is your thymus becoming so abused. And this is the part of our endocrine system, like ovaries, like a pancreas, that's responsible for your immunity. And when you age, it's going smaller and smaller and smaller, not because ah, it's inevitable and it's nature designed like this. This is because of so much stress and assault on immune system, on your body and on your brain. Stress and parasites. And by parasites, I mean all of them, right? And when this assault happening, your thymus shrinking, 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 and thymus is responsible for, it's like your heart. It's a real heart chakra of your body. It's responsible for you living like this amazing good life where there is without anxiety, depression, you full of love, people don't annoy you, you don't want to kill your husband just because he's chewing out loud. You know what I mean? You're not stressed. You're like, I'm the owner of my own life when you're not hijacked. Unfortunately, I see it even in the health industry, people thinking that they are fighting something and they are getting better, but they don't even know how good they can feel. We literally can live until 200 years in a 30 years old body. And people who think they don't have parasites, yeast, and all of this stuff, they're just kidding themselves. If you're aging, if you look at your age, if you have any joint problems, you have any hormone problems, you have the parasites. And by parasites, I mean all of these guys: yeast, like one cell parasites, again, bacteria, like overgrowth of the bacteria, it's not even joke. So like I said, under the microscope, in the blood, drop of blood, we see crazy picture. And those fancy guys in Kremlin that I like to use their research how to live really long time into 30 years old bodies, they measured the biofilm of all of the creatures that hijacked our body, and their biofilm of them, the biofilm and parasites, it's stronger than the human biofield. So you're basically like a suit working for them. And sometimes people even living half, like pretty decent healthy life, and they go exercise, they have some energy. But you can even look at a lot of doctors who are, a lot of people in the industry, they tell you about their health ideas, health protocols, but when you take a really good look at them, like they age fast, they have gray hair, they don't look like they got it all. Right? So I'm telling you that it's an epidemic. And the test, they just scratch the surface of what's going on in the body. And another research I want to tell you about, this is the again, the Russian elites, they did this research. So there was a bunch of monkeys, right? And they put them, bunch of monkeys with the alpha male, who's like was giving them a signs, whatever the signs they like give their other monkeys to show that they're alpha and everybody should follow them. So they put them in a room, and they put this alpha male in one part of a room, and they put the rest of the monkeys on the other side, and they put a glass wall in between them. And the alpha one could see other monkeys, but the monkeys couldn't see the alpha male. So he started doing his usual, like showing them, hey, follow me, I'm your alpha, I'm the main guy, you should obey me. But they couldn't see him, and they didn't pay attention to him. So what happened, he started doubting himself, and they start measuring his like neurotransmitters and hormones, and they noticed that his serotonin went really low. It started going lower and lower and lower. And then he just like became very sad. And then they destroyed that wall. They took the wall out, and they put the alpha male back with his friends, with the rest of the tribe. And what happened here? His serotonin was so low, he became one of the monkeys. He couldn't be that alpha male anymore, because serotonin is not just feel good hormone. It's responsible how good of a leader you are, how you can build your business, how you can function in a society, how other people can look at you and decide, ooh, something resonates. I resonate with her. I want her or him to be like, bring me to greatness. I know they can do it for me. So you're the leader. So let me tell you, this biofilm and yeast especially, and it's not just candida in our body. We have hundreds of other species in our body. This is the main killer of serotonin. They literally hijack our transmitters and your ability to be the leader. They also affect our dopamine, and this is like how you can accomplish tasks, how outgoing you are. The dopamine responsible for you to set the task and then had a feeling like what's going to happen when you accomplish that, so you could go to your goals and you can accomplish them. So here you go, your whole business in here. How can you set up your business? How can you accomplish tasks? How good of a leader you are? Everything goes in the drain. Why? Because your body been hijacked by yeast, by parasites, by these bacteria, and yeast likes to bury itself in your small intestine, make microscopic holes in it, and then we again look at the blood drop under microscope, and we can see the large molecules of undigested proteins, which is very inflammatory for your immune system. Your immune system is like, wait, hold up. All this garbage should not be in the blood. Alarm, let's go to work and start cleaning. Then it's more, and they start cleaning. Eventually, your thymus is going to shrink. There is a lot of stress. So basically, what you're doing with your life, you're not living your life anymore. You're walking on the surface of earth. You're feeding them. Your brain is hijacked, and you're feeding them and you're fighting them. Of course your immune system gonna go haywire. Of course by age 40 they say it's inevitable you're gonna be diagnosed with some type of thyroid problems, because in 15 minutes all the blood goes through your thyroid, and your immune system is fighting non-stop. How can you function? How can you fight viruses? And viruses actually our friends. They cleansing your system of this garbage. But it's for another video. And you're walking around, you're fighting, you're fighting with one hand, you're feeding with one hand. And it's like, this is how you walk around like zombie. Do you have time to be happy? Do you have time to enjoy the sky, your kids, your business, be creative? No, you forget where you put your keys. You forget how, like, your business partners' names. Of course you don't have time for all of this. Do you understand? This is big. And also they eat your minerals, and they stress your immune system to fight all of this garbage. It needs lots of sugar. Lots of sugar. So it's gonna run for insulin because it needs energy. Immune system needs energy, so it needs glucose. And when you get this low carb diet, and you go and you exercise, you're adding more stress. Your immune system runs for insulin. You don't give her, for glucose, you don't give her that glucose, and your body go and chew up your muscles, because guess what? Body is pretty smart. It can take glucose out of proteins. It can make it can convert. So it's going to chew up your muscles, and you go to the gym, and also there's so much toxins, your body, your liver is like, hold on, I don't know what to do with that anymore. So it starts taking these toxins and put it as fat. So while you're going, exercising, adding more stress, not eating enough, always walking around hungry, miserable, your brain is inflamed, hijacks, and all of these toxins, they literally get spilled in your brain. Everything is inflamed. You're fighting things inside, but they still telling your brain, eat more, eat more. So you go around, and the only thing you're thinking about, what's next for dinner? What's next for lunch? What else sweet can I eat after the lunch? Because you finish eating it and it's like they want more. Your starving brain want more. Your over fighting, always fighting immune system need glucose. So after each meal, you need something sweet. You need something sweet. You are literally walking zombie by a robot for these creatures. And my invitation to you, come work with me or do something else. I don't know if I resonate with you. Come on, just text me. We're gonna like give you the brand new body. You come to me in Fort Pinto, you're living in Lamborghini. Literally. I did it to myself and I'm inviting you. If you can't or don't want to, don't resonate with me, do it with me. Then I don't bite. Just schedule a call. You do it yourself. You do your research. You find somebody who resonate with. But a lot of functional doctors, they don't even scratch the surface. When you go to any doctor, you interviewing them. You decide if they're gonna work for you. Okay? It's time to take responsibility in your own hands and say, I am the shit. I am the queen. This is my body. This is my house. This is my planet. This is my rules. Enough of these, like everybody hijacking my body, my freaking mind, my news, my computer. Like, become the shit. You can do it yourself by saying, from today, from now on, I decide how my brain works. Who do I feed? Do I feed myself or my freaking parasites? And start with the cleanse. Good, good, good cleanse, where you clean your lymphatic system, your digestion, your blood, your elimination. When you stop just feeding these creatures, when you start eating and digesting your food, okay, you need to clean your brain, because your brain tells your ovaries, your pancreas, your liver, your thyroid what to do. There is no other way around. And of course, minerals, 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 because not only they hijacked from inside, these parasites, these creatures, they have their own biofield, hijack our bodies. These creatures in our governments, they freaking hijacked our planet. So now we're eating vegetables that they are lacking of minerals and vitamins, because we harvest them before they ripen. And vegetable grow, grow, grow. And when it's time to get the minerals from the soil, it needs to ripen. We can't do this anymore because we don't have normal farmers that are around us. We have to import this stuff from who knows where. We live here, but we import freaking apples from China. Seriously. So there is nothing in these apples, and you go in there and you pay and you eat, and there's nothing in there. Another thing is, of course, the soils are depleted. They're crazy depleted, and they messed up them with the OPK, with the fertilizers, even the organic fertilizers. They have the organic farmers, they have imbalanced soils because of the fertilizers they use, and of course the glyphosate. It's amazing. I see these people around, they're barely walking. Their joints are swollen, they're like old and sick, but they go around their lawns and spray this Roundup and glyphosate Roundup on their lawns. You're gonna die from this stuff tomorrow. What are you doing? Wakey, wakey. We can't live like this anymore. We have to protect ourselves from and our children. Stop being biorobots, guys. I'm telling you, it's time to clean our body and claim our power and claim our brain, our neurotransmitters, and our hormones. Remove all of this junk from. I use in my limitless body cleanse, I use like combination of 13 very amazing ancient Russian herbs that can restart your whole microbiome in just 3 weeks. Like, we take the things out and we give you a new one. Then with the fungicides, we're giving you upgraded thymus. We wake thymus up. We're giving you a new immune system. Like, we can do this. I promise you, we can do this. I promise you. Now, first thing, take responsibility in your hands. Second thing, wake up and start doing something. Don't spend your days just eating and going to the bathroom. You're not even feeding yourself. I promise you that. And when you go and do your gut test or any other test and the doctor tell you bullshit, you don't have parasites, tell this doctor bullshit. Tell me why I'm sick. Oh, they're gonna tell you like, oh, something wrong with your hormones. Hormones are just messengers from your brain to your organs about what to do. So the thing is, either your organ doesn't work or your brain doesn't work. Okay, this is not your hormones. Why don't they work? Because of stress we accumulate in our body in terms of the toxins, in terms of spill, the lymph, the parasites, parasites in your mind, in terms of that's why I use reproducible therapy. I use psychosomatics, because we create the illusions in our brain, and we like walking around in marinate in our childhood traumas and this and that. People like, and they create so much off of this. You can you can even erase your karma nowadays in like one day. It's happening like this on planet Earth right now. I work with the amazing Russian energy healers. They can help like this. You don't you got to take responsibility in your own hands. Okay, it's time to erase the stress, the trauma, and the parasites. It's gonna give you so much energy. You're gonna feel like, oh, I can't even hold this energy. I wake up different. I go to sleep different. I have different ideas. I can be that alpha male or female. The whole crowd's gonna follow me. I'm gonna build my business. You're becoming unstoppable. Okay, but yes, if you join just at the end of this big speech, go to my YouTube or my Facebook group and rewatch the whole thing. It's gonna be really beneficial, and I tell you why we're becoming walking zombies for reals who just want to eat and have something sweet at the end of their meal and sleep and have no energy or ideas for anything else. Okay, but I love you guys. I hope I wasn't too too mean. It's just like my passion, and when I see the transformation in myself and in my clients, it's just like so inspiring, and I want it for everybody. I want it for everybody. I want us all to wake up and understand that we had amazing blueprint. We are designers of our own life and bodies. We can absolutely change how our body looks, feels, and we can the body type, the genes, like the genetic factor, we can change all of it. I promise you. Just got to do something, and it's not a rocket science. All right. If you feel like talking to me, always send me a message. Bye bye.